Just as a quick legal disclaimer, Silverstone did send me the heatsink and power supplies review samples, and there will be links in the description to those videos. First, I thought it'd be fun to go over some Silverstone Crown history. The Crown series is their premium home theater PC case lineup. These cases are designed with a premium high-end audio look to blend in with the other gear you may have in your hi-fi setup. The CW01 and CW01WD were their first generation cases. They were released in 2006 and the original price was around $264. The WD version featured a special front panel window to show off the Western Digital Raptor X hard drive. These also had 1/4-inch jacks on the front, which would come in handy for some audio gear. The CW02 is their second generation case and the one featured in this video. It came out in early 2007 and the original price was around $360. The CW02 is my favorite design as of now. Every generation looks nice in its own way, but the CW02 reminds me of a high-end Marantz receiver. It features 2 front knobs with a vacuum fluorescent display and remote control. The CW03 is their third generation case. It came out in 2008 and the original price was around $699. This was one of the most expensive cases of the series. I would imagine the 7-inch 1080p touchscreen contributed to the higher price. Along with the touchscreen, this case had a remote control using the iMon hardware like the CW02. The CW04 is their 4th generation and current Crown series case. It was recently released in 2025 with a price of $549. It does look a little more bland compared to previous generations, but it has the striking resemblance of a high-end monoblock amplifier. They have gotten away from the mostly aluminum construction and instead focused on bringing the series into the future of high-end gaming in your living room. The case is massive and can fit any hardware you could possibly desire. So I originally found this case on Facebook. It was kind of one of those random things that popped up. I was like, ooh, shiny. And I'm pretty glad I got it. I never would have expected that I would have had the privilege to receive some of the parts in it as review samples from Silverstone. And I am pretty happy with the fact that this is a as much Silverstone as possible build. When I originally got it, it was kind of dirty, so I had to take it apart pretty far to clean it up and get a little nicer. Hardware that I put in there, basically the thought was things I already own that would be good for a media PC while being low power. And I went with the 7th Gen i5 because that gave me a good balance of having the media codecs I would need for media playback along with being low power, and going with a low power build enables me to run this in a fanless mode, although the fans will kick on if necessary. It was a little challenging to build this since these older cases didn't necessarily have cable management in mind, and I was worried that the heatsink would be a little too big, but my contact at Silverstone double checked for me and he was like, yeah, we should be fine. And so I said, hell, let's go with it and see what happens. And he was right. It fit perfectly, and it's been an amazing heatsink. I am not using it anywhere near its fullest potential since it's more intended for like high-end builds and high performance, but it's been fantastic for fanless mode, and same with power supply. I'm still kind of working on figuring out how to get the iMon display working. The power connection was the biggest hurdle, kind of just the software's, I don't fully understand it, so as I play with that, it'll start to make more sense. Really, the biggest issue I had during assembly was just kind of figuring out the order of operations, which is pretty standard for any kind of custom build like this, where, oh well, the fan header is under the heatsink and the heatsink's giant and there's no way to get to it, so I gotta take the heatsink out and try to connect the fans first and then put the heatsink in, and just silly little things like that. But it was a fun build and I'm excited I get to use it now. So I let the PC cook for about 3 hours straight, and I had Furmark running doing the fuzzy donut test along with some CPU loads. And thermals were pretty good. So it never went over 62 per core. And the fan didn't kick on too much. It was on and off kind of as it saw fit. But really could not hear it. It was dead silent. And it has stabilized back down to in the 40s range. It's going to stay hot like that just because there's no airflow over the CPU with the fans disabled. but honestly, it's not going to hurt anything. The CPU can handle a lot higher temps than that. So yeah, pretty impressive as a silent build, and I don't think the power supply fan ever kicked on either. Just vibing. I mean, I'm pulling probably 50 watts tops, so the power supply is hilariously overkill. So this is my home theater room, and it's a bit of a mess. It's always a work in progress, although for the most part, the hardware here has been mostly the same. But it's time to get the CW02 set up and installed. So I made a small mistake and didn't think to measure the rack I want to place the case in. I do not have the depth I need, unfortunately, and the amp gets to live on top of the rack because that's its home. So for now, it gets to live on top of my subwoofer, which I think should be okay. The feet are making decent contact. Otherwise, the plan I'm considering is if I can get this ultra short throw projector to play nice with my setup, I might build a stand to set it on and put that under the projector. Right now, as it is, the projector is exhausting its hot air into the side of the case, which is kind of, I don't know. So I was a little worried that the screen on this case would be too bright or annoying. And with the lights off and the projector on, it's pretty bright in here still. But even if I turn the projector off, as you can see, it's pretty reasonable. It's bright enough to be able to read it, but not so bright that's annoying to look at or brighter than the surrounding items. So I have been having fun with this. I like how I can use the remote. It's in mouse mode right now, so oops, I have to point it at the screen, but I can, or not the screen, I have to point it at the computer. I can use it to move the cursor around and I can click. Plus, I have volume control on the remote, so if I want to turn it down, I can turn it down, and you can see on the screen that whatever the volume's set at. Now, something fun I've been looking forward to is I can play my games on my projector now too. The projector isn't set up properly yet, so the image is kind of messed up, but at least I can play Unreal Tournament now. And interestingly enough, playing the game heats the CPU up quite a bit. Granted, it doesn't help that the room is warm and the projector is blowing hot air on it, but the fans do kick on and you honestly can't hear them. As of now, the projector fan is basically the loudest thing in the room, along with the sound of the game, as I do a really bad job playing it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It's been a fun little project and it's exceeded my expectations. I'm glad I've been able to run this machine so silently. And really the cherry on top would be if I could figure out how to make the projector silent. But I think that'd require a newer, higher end laser projector that isn't as bright, because this projector is like a 3000 lumen projector. Even with the lights off now, the room is fairly well lit, but I can't complain because that just means I can watch movies or do a really bad job at playing Unreal Tournament in the daytime when the sun is coming in through the windows. But yeah, overall it's been a fun project and hopefully you found this interesting.